In this video we're going to complete example 2 on credit cards. It says that Kelly has a credit card with an interest rate of 18.6% per annum, which is compounded daily. So there's a few key things here. We've got the word compounded and we've got the word daily. So we know we're using our compound interest formula. I'll just write it all the way at the top. FV equals PV 1 plus R to the power of N. The other thing we're looking at is that it says to do this daily. So when we calculate our interest rate R, we need to convert it to a daily interest rate. 18.6% is our yearly interest rate, so we need to divide this by 365. Now, if we check that on the calculator, it's very likely that we're going to get a nasty decimal, which we really don't want this early on. Yes, it's not very nice at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this a fraction instead of dividing it. So we'll make it 18.6 over 365, and we'll say this is the percentage per day. Now, remember, we have to take our percentage and we need to divide it by 100. Okay, now when you do that, that's the same as timesing by 1 over 100. Okay, which will actually give you 18.6 over 36,500. Now we'll put a red rectangle around this just to show you that that's what R is going to be when we plug it into our formula. Alright, let's keep going with the question. It says Kelly purchased a car for $5,600 on the 14th of June 2018. I'll say that that's going to be her present value, also known as her principal. So we'll write that down here. Present value is going to be $5,600. Okay, we'll keep reading on. It says she received 34 interest-free days on this purchase. Notice that they're telling us exactly how many interest-free days there are. There's no ambiguity here. Next, it says that on the 22nd of August, she received $5,730 from her tax return and decided to pay off the money she borrowed for the car. Great. So question A says if she goes to the bank that same day on the 22nd of August, how much will she need to pay for the car loan including interest? So she's going to end up paying more than $5,600 because interest has accumulated in this time. So the first thing we need to do now is to figure out exactly how much time has passed, and we have two dates here. We have the date that she purchased the car on the 14th of June and the date that she paid it off on the 22nd of August. So we've got to figure out exactly how many days have gone by in this time. So I'm going to use kind of like a timeline below, and that's going to help me work this out. So we've got to mark some parts on here. We've got the 14th of June. Okay, now June has 30 days in it, so I'm going to also mark over here the 30th of June. Then we've got July. How many days in July? So let's just write that down here. This section represents July, and July has 31 days in it. Okay, and then we're in August, and she pays off the loan on August the 22nd. So 22nd of August. Now there are actually three sections on this date line. There's this section here, there's this section in the middle, and then the section at the start, which I'll put down below where I've got more space. So for the section at the end, that's 22 days, because that goes from the 1st to the 22nd of August. The section in the middle represents July, which is 31 days in July. And then the section on the left represents our time period in June. Now we have to be careful here because it starts on the 14th and goes to the 30th. So when we calculate that, I'll do it right up the top. We go 30 minus 14, but we also need to add 1 because we're including the 14th of June as part of the count. That will give us 17 days. Okay, so 17 days here. So if we want to calculate n, which is the number of days, we need to add these all up. We need to go 17 plus 31 plus 22. Also, we get 34 interest-free days right up here, 34 interest-free days, which means we need to also subtract the interest-free days of 34. What do we get when we put these numbers together? All right, 17 plus 31 plus 22 minus 34 equals 36. Okay, so we're going to get charged for 36 of these days. We're going to get charged interest for 36 of these days. So we've now got all the information we need. The only problem is we're really running out of space here, so I'm going to fix that now. Alright, so for our formula, FV equals PV, PV being $5,600, brackets 1 plus R, R being 18.6 over 36,500, close the brackets and put this to the power of n, which was 36 days. Let's do that now on the calculator. 5,600 times bracket 1 plus, and when we put R in, I like to use the divide symbol, 18.6 divide 36,500. Close our brackets and put this to the power of 36, and we get $5,703.65. $5,703.65, which is what Callie will need to pay when she goes to pay this loan off at the bank. Question B says, how much interest did she end up paying? So to figure out the interest, we've got to take our future value and subtract the present value. So it accumulated to the amount of $5,703.65. It was originally $5,600, and when we subtract that, we get $103.65. That's how much interest she ended up paying in this time period of only 36 days. Anyway, that concludes example 2. Remember to read the description below for links to work booklets that relate to this video.